Hey y'all. Um, I don't really want to make a video based on my sister's allegations, um, but I feel I must to um, get the story straight on my part. She's saying that I said that it was her fault. She's feeling like this. Um, I no, it is her fault because it's not her fault she had a stroke. Well, it is sort of because she basically pushes herself with her anger and her outbursts and everything. That's not her. I'm not. I'm not the one making. I'm not even there to make her angry or anything. She just keeps on going on and on about me in these videos. I did not say that anyone else was responsible for their getting sick and everything. No. The people who get sick, they probably have underlying health issues. That's not their fault. Not unless they do what Misty does and keep on pushing themselves with their anger and obsess over different things. I never said that. What was it? Okay, I'm trying to make a recollection of this. She is basically, if you have seen her videos on her Misty Henry channel, you will see that she is quite obsessed with me. Just like she was obsessed with Lamont, and she still is. With those she thinks has wronged her, she gets quite obsessive about them and goes on for months, years, just dragging them through the mud with her videos. I don't pay attention to them anymore. I don't want to, but I really felt like I had to make this video to just get things straight. She was going on about people. No, she was saying that all the hard workers in the world were to blame for how they were health-wise. I never said that. I never said that. I never said she was at fault for working too hard. I never said she should sit down and just malinger. I never said anything like that. That's all in her head. As usual, per usual, she is taking my words and twisting them to fit her fantasy world. I never said anything about hard workers are pushing themselves to death and everything. I'm not saying that at all. Where she's getting that, I have no clue. If you have noticed, my videos have become rarer and separate from day to day because I really don't want anything to do with my sister. I really don't want to make these videos. I'm just tired of her and her paranoid. She is very, very paranoid because in her latest video, she showed that she had a pair of scissors in her nightstand or whatever it is, and has threatened, should anyone come into my room, I have this. And she said she'll kill anyone else who comes into her house. If that's not paranoia, I don't know what is. For one, if she means me, I live all the way here in Logansport, which is like 55 miles away. I don't drive. So how the hell am I gonna get there, and why would I go there? I want to avoid Marion as much as possible. Mainly because the area is a lot sketchier than Logansport. I remember being there, and I was afraid to walk to the gas station by myself from Misty's house because it was a sketchy part of town. I remember walking with my niece, and we had a car follow us. we took off for the park and to get away from the car, and we watched him drive away. But yeah, like I said, Marion is very, very sketchy, and I just want to stay away from there. It might be great for artists and stuff because they have the Garfield Institute or something like that for artists, ballet, radio, what have you. But I wouldn't want to live there. Now, Logansport has had its share of stabbings and shootings, yes, but not as frequent as Marion. But yeah, I never said hard workers were responsible for having their strokes and everything. My dad wasn't to blame for his death. It wasn't for his health going bad either. It just happened with age. Same with my grandpa. And with Misty, the way she's constantly obsessing and getting angry over different things, that's sure to raise her blood pressure. And that's not good, because if it raises her blood pressure to a certain point, she is sure to have another stroke. So Misty, yeah, I didn't say anything about your hard work making you sick. What I said was your obsession with me, Lamont, and Marissa raising your blood pressure all the time. You are letting that happen to yourself. I'm saying I want to stay away from you. I don't want to make these videos. I don't want to mention you ever again. But you keep on mentioning me. If that's not obsession, I don't know. Yeah. All I can ask for you people to do is don't go to her channel. Don't feed into her videos. Don't comment on the videos. Just block her and stay away from her channel. It's not good for your mental health, and it's just not great for anything else. All she does is spew hatred, and it's paranoia. Now, is she paranoid schizophrenic? I don't know for sure. I know our parents weren't schizophrenic, but she does have paranoia personality disorder. As for my own personal personality disorder, I have borderline personality, but I've learned to live with it. I'm not really having many episodes anymore. I think that's because I'm not living with anyone. I don't do great with roommates. I think I was like that since Mom and Dad passed away. After Mom and Dad passed away, I just didn't want to live with anyone. And I think that's accrued over the years, that I just don't want roommates. I know that's one of the reasons why I wanted to get out of the group home as fast as I could, because I knew I wasn't going to do well with roommates. For some reason, I just don't. I think it could be because we get on each other's nerves or whatever. I do pretty well on my own. I do have a case manager that kind of helps me, and some friends come and visit too. But would I want to be roommates with them? Maybe for a short time, like a week. But after that, I would want to go back to my own place. Oh, and Misty's gone back to breaking her nose when I was 3 years old, or maybe 2 years old. She goes back to when I was 2 years old, 3 years old, and everything. And I didn't break her nose on purpose. What I probably did was I was trying to get away from her, and maybe my head went back and hit her nose. And she's bringing up things that a regular 7-year-old would do with their big sister or big brother, taking her things and and hiding them. A normal kid does that at that age. She said, you should have known better when you were 7 years old. Well, Misty, I heard a little tidbit about what happened when I was a newborn. I think I was maybe 2 weeks old, and I heard through the grapevine, I heard from someone in our family, I'm not saying who, that when we lived on Vandalia Street in that apartment, you were 7 years old at the time. So you're saying that 7-year-olds should know better. Well, I remember the story quite clearly being told to me. You were 7 years old at the time. From what I know, I was in a baby carrier and Mom was in bed resting because she had a hard pregnancy with me. I was in the living room next to you watching cartoons and everything. I was crying and possibly screaming, and like any newborn does. Well, you got tired of it and you threw a blanket over me. Not a light blanket, a regular blanket. And one of our family members came inside, and they couldn't find me anywhere. They could hear me, but they couldn't find me. Until they looked next to you. I was in the car seat. You covered me up, could have smothered me. In fact, I was very, very red by the time they took the blanket off. So if you say 7-year-olds should know better about their actions, then what about you? Sorry, y'all. I'm still getting over COVID a little bit. I still have the coughs and the sneezes. But yeah, what about you, Misty? Does that qualify for you too? Shouldn't you have known better not to do that? Especially when our relative asked you why you did it, and how you said that it was because I was too noisy for crying during your cartoons and you couldn't hear them. Hello, pot. Kettle, you're black. So if I was 7 years old and taking your books and everything, and you said that I should know better, which is worse? Taking books or smothering your baby sister? Weigh the options. As for standing there laughing when Dad punished you, he never punished you for those books. He never punished you at all for those. He told me to give them back, and I did sometimes. I agree that I had a fight with you at times, but I gave it back eventually. And we never had fights about that. You went and told Dad and blew things out of proportion. When Dad found out you lied, yeah, he spanked you. Because that's what he does. That's what he did. If we lied to him, he spanked us. And me laughing while he was spanking you, I never laughed at you. I never laughed at you. You are just, again, that's you twisting history to fit your mindscape. Anyway, I am through with the negativity. I really don't want to make any more of these videos. I really don't want to. But I felt like I should be straightening out some things. As I said, I never said hard workers were responsible for making themselves sick and having strokes. I never said that. That was all Misty in her mind. What I said was people who are obsessed with other people who have wronged them, and they keep on obsessing over them, making video after video after video of different antics or different things that they think happened, and they're getting angrier and angrier, their blood pressure rises. When their blood pressure rises, that can hit your brain. And when it hits your brain, it's going to lead to sickness, much like Misty has. It can lead to strokes, even death. And that's another thing. I did not wish for her to die. I never wished her to die. I said that I had that mindset for some reason. It just popped in my mind when I heard that she went into the hospital. I never said I wanted her to die. All I thought was, is she dead? Am I free of this nightmare? Basically, and then I said, I don't want to think like that. I went to Celebrate Recovery, and I got down on my knees and I prayed about it to God to take away those negative thoughts. I don't want to think about that, even though she's so hateful with me. Now she's saying that, oh, she never wanted a sister. She wants me dead, and da 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 da. That's probably leading to her paranoia about the scissors and then killing anyone who invades her home now. Because she worked it up in her mind like that. She does that. She's also very, very narcissistic. If she does something wrong and you point it out to her, she goes out on a tangent, just tearing you down. That's narcissistic behavior. She can't do anything wrong. It all has to be somebody else's fault. That's very, very narcissistic. Now, when I do something wrong and somebody catches me doing it, I own up to it. I say, okay, I did this wrong, I'm sorry. But I just... Or if I catch myself doing something wrong and nobody else does, I immediately apologize for it. Like, one day I was at Walmart and checked everything out. I had one of my grocery bags covering like, I think it was a bar of deodorant. And I realized that they didn't check it out. I checked my, Rocinol, they didn't check it out. So I went back in and I took responsibility for that. I told them I was sorry. I left the store, went into the lobby. I was in the lobby, sure, but I forgot to pay for the deodorant. They laughed it off and they said, it's no problem. They rang it up and let me leave. So, yeah, I own up to my mistakes now. Misty doesn't. She just does not like to admit she does something wrong. It always has to be the other person. And then after that, for months or years on end, she keeps that against that person. She keeps on making different stories up about them. All lies, basically. And then it just keeps on building up and building up and building up. That's her personality. I wish it was different. I wish she had more of a pure heart and didn't really care about making other people's lives hell. But, oh well, what you gotta do? And she says that she wanted a strong bond with me. No, she never wanted a strong bond with me as a child. She always told me to get out, I had to get away from her, and she didn't want anything to do with me. When we went to movies on Saturdays, I had to fight with her to let me come along, and Mom had to tell her to take me. I didn't sit with her at the Saturday movies, but I rode along so I would be safe. She didn't want to do any of that. She wanted to leave me behind and not do anything with me. So basically, yeah, she never wanted a strong bond with me. She never wanted a sister. as you can tell by the story that I told a few minutes ago when she tried to smother me as a baby. She's shown that quite a bit. So I'm calling bullshit on her for saying that she wants a bond with me. I was told that maybe eventually in the future we can have a relationship. It's like, no, I don't want a relationship with her. I want her out of my life. I don't want to hear from her. I don't want to see her. I want her to leave me alone. That still goes for me. It's too late. I don't want anything to do with her. I want her to leave me alone. I'm sorry for saying all this on camera, but I am just so tired of it all. I'm trying to cheer up and but yeah, that's basically straightening out the whole story. I never said that hard workers were responsible for their strokes or getting sick or anything, because they're not responsible most times. It's just their age, or maybe their health is going down. I know my health isn't the greatest anymore. I could feel it during these few weeks with COVID, and I didn't want to eat on Sundays. I had no appetite, so I had to drink some Premier shakes in order to keep my nutrition level up. I still drink those Premier shakes for breakfast, but when I was still sick last week, I didn't want to sit around in the apartment anymore, but I didn't really want to go out because I was exhausted. So I made sure to climb the stairs up and down a few times and walk the hallways for about 10 minutes at a time. I just know I had to keep busy. And I'm looking on Roku for chair exercises. I'm working with a strength band. Today at Clubhouse we did chair exercises. I loved it. So yeah, I know people are not really to blame for their health problems. It just happens. But like people, if there's people like Misty obsessing about their obsessions over and over and tearing them down in her videos over and over, that's sure to raise their blood pressure, speed their heart up when they're angry, and eventually that will hit other parts of their body, hit their heart or their brain, and they will have strokes or even die from it. I'm not responsible for any of that. And Misty is trying to make it sound like I am responsible. I am stressing her out. If she watches these videos, then that's on her. It's on me to not watch her videos either, and I don't. I just listen to people telling me about them. Anyway, I'm gonna cut this off, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.